If it's your very first time to join us, I will recommend you to also watch the previous videos so that you can be on the same page with everyone else. Otherwise, let me give a quick recap for those who are joining us for the very first time. I'm just going to give a very brief demonstration of what we're going to build for those fellows that have just joined in this video. So this is a complete Uber clone. We're going to code the front end as well as the back end. So our back end is made of Node.js, and we're going to be using MongoDB as well for our database. And if you scroll at the bottom, you can see those cars there, and it shows you also your location. And these cars, they represent the drivers around you. So you assume that you are the client here, and these are the cars that are around you. So you can request, and whenever you place your request, the nearest driver will come to you. And if you click on Ride with Uber, and that will take you to the request screen. There's this beautiful bottom sheet, and you have the map in the background, which is really completely working. And so let's go back to this, and then you can decide to type the address where you want to go to, or you can decide to request for someone else. If maybe you don't want to request for yourself, you can just tap there, request for someone else, and you can see on top there changes. So I'm going to request for someone. Let's say the person will be going from this address here. You can put whatever address, and this is fully functional. You can see as I'm tapping, you have these suggestions for the addresses. So this is Google Places autocomplete, and it's fully implemented. We're going to do that in this video. It's very simple, and so you can tap your address there, and you will see that you're gonna get the right address. This is the address which I wanted. And once you've put the origin address, it will request for the destination address, and I'm going to put 55 Pretoria Road. And now I've put the address. The address is complete, and awesome. We have the route here. You can see we have the route, and you have also this bottom sheet. So now this shows you where the person will be picked. The person will be picked from here, and they will be dropped here. And also the map will give you the travel time, which is in the right hand corner, top corner. In this case, it's saying it's 6.65 minutes. And in the top left corner, it also gives you the distance between the 2 points, so which is 3.34 kilometers. And if you are happy with all this information, and also you can decide to select the type of car you want. For example, you have Uber X, Connect, and Black, and Van. And you see that as I'm selecting and clicking, you can see the selection is being activated. The selection is being highlighted in a nice gray there, and you can also notice that the button is changing. So this is just to demonstrate that the app is fully functional. And if you are happy with whatever information we give you here, all this information will be coming from the back end, by the way. And let's say in this case, I'm gonna take Uber X, and at the same time you can see the prices are also calculated and even discount. So whenever you request, you're gonna get the exact amount which will be calculated by our Node.js server. And if you select that, then it will give you the final details of your trip. It will give you the name of the driver that will be coming to fetch you and the picture, and the name is there, Peter Moore, and you have the number of trips that the driver has done. You have also the rating, and it also gives you the car registration number that will be coming to fetch you, so that whenever the car is there, you will be able to identify it and without any trouble. So you can decide to pay cash, or you can decide to pay with your card, or you can decide to pay cash, and we can change all those information there. So we're going to implement the payment as well, but this will be the last thing that we're going to implement in this project. And once you're happy with all this information, it also shows you the pickup location. This is where you will be picked up. So if you are happy and you confirm that this is the right location, then just click confirm pickup, click this button at the bottom, and there we are. We have the car and we have the map with the driver's information. You also have in the top right hand corner, you can see we have a counter there that is counting the estimated time for the driver to arrive to you. And now you can see the car is moving along the route. You can see the car is perfectly following the route, and this is just awesome. I'm going to show you how to do all this. It has taken me quite some time to get to this level, to implement all this, to make sure the car is following exactly the path. There's a bit of complex algorithm, but we're going to implement all that. And yeah, so now we'll begin coding. We're going to begin writing lines of code. We don't have to waste a lot of time. So I've opened my Visual Studio project. I'm not sure which code editor you're using, but regardless of the code editor that you are using, we are going to be able to code together. I assume now that everyone knows what we are building, what this project is about, and this home page that you're seeing, this is what we've built in the previous videos. I will leave the links in the description section. And so this is where we've stopped, and we started already building the request screen. I think for those who have been following from the first video, they know that we're going to build about 6 screens, if I'm not mistaken, 6 or 5 screens, and this is the second screen that we're building. So if I open my this is my part of my presentation which I've done in the first video. So this is the home screen which you've seen there, and this is the request screen. You can see the highlighted screen there. That is the request screen that we started building. So if you see on the emulator, we have this Google map, so you can see the Google map in the background. So today we're going to begin now creating this search area or search bar, and we're also going to implement this bottom sheet. We're going to implement the Google autocomplete as well. I think if you've seen in the demonstration, you now have an idea of what Google Places autocomplete is about. So you can see there when we're tapping the address, I started tapping 55 there, and you can see the suggestions of different address. So, and the final screen that we're going to build now in this video, and we're going to complete this video with I think the screen that I'm looking for, actually I didn't, oh alright, here it is. This is the final screen that we're going to complete in this video. So in this video we're going to end it with this screen here. So we will begin from this and we will end with this one. Okay, so That means you will be able to put your address from the search bar, and Google places autocomplete will give you the address or the suggestions. You pick one suggestion, and finally you're gonna have all this information, and you're gonna have the route displayed on the map, which is the direction, and this will be done using Google Direction APIs. And we're also going to implement all these cars as well as the prices on the front end side. We're gonna also have all this information like the estimation time for the travel as well as the distance. So that being said, let's begin. We're gonna start with this search bar. So open your source code, your source folder, and inside your source folder you should have all these different components or folders. You have the component folder, you have the context, globals, and so forth. But we're going to focus on the screen folder, and inside your screen folder you should have your request screen.js file. Alright, if you've been following from the previous tutorials, you should have this, and also you should have the home screen, and this is what you have coded previously. Alright, and you see that you have assets as well, the asset folder. This is where we have different pictures and so forth. So if you don't have this, you could get some errors if you're following, but I'll also leave a link to where you can find all these assets, and I'll leave a link in the description section so that you can be able to follow along. Okay, all right, now let's begin. I'm going to open the request screen.js file. Let me make this bigger. Alright, and this is where we're gonna be writing most of our code for today. And as I said, you will find all these resources on GitHub. I think it can help you code along. But otherwise, there's some libraries that we're going to use. The first one is called React Native Element. We have installed that already in the very first video, and I'm going to paste it so that I don't waste time typing. So we're going to use these two components, the icon and this other one from React Native Element. So you can type that, and I'm also going to paste some styles. The styles that we're going to use in this project, I'm going to paste them because it's a lot of styles, and you will find them on the link that will be left in the description area. And because honestly speaking, if you have to type all these styles, this video will be even 1 day long. So you need to focus on what is important than typing code. So I've copied those styles and I'm pasting them. You can see on your screen we have a list of styles in your style sheet. So you can, I know some of you guys love typing, but otherwise, yeah, you can be seeing them. You can pause and type as I'm scrolling down, but otherwise you can also find all this on GitHub and copy them to your project. So React Native is all about styling. I think React Native is more than 50% styling because it's a front-end framework. So you indeed have to be good with styling if you want to be a React Native developer. So that's why you can see that there's a lot of styles here, because it's a front-end framework. So you definitely have to be used to typing a lot of styles in React Native. So these are the styles, almost the same things, just borders, padding and things like that. Nothing really special in all this styling. Okay, that's it. That being said, there's one API that we have to import from React Native. It's called dimensions. Import that, and we're going to grab the width as well as the height. So as you're developing, your code should know how big your screen is, and React Native has made all this very simple. So I'm pasting 2 lines of code as well here, and this is the screen height as well as screen width. So we have these two, and yeah, I think we're ready to begin writing some lines of code now, because I think most of things that we will need so far have been catered for. So open a view on top of your map component. Open a view, and inside this view we're going to pass some styles to it. So going to say this will be styles, this will be styles view1, styles.view1. No, sorry, this will be view2, styles.view2. And in this styles.view2, for example, if you scroll to your style sheet, you'll find the view2 style. Here it is. All right, so we're using it. Actually, I think there's a mistake here. It's supposed to be a small letter. So it's just we're grabbing the screen height and all those type of things. And so inside this view, we're going to open another view, right? Or instead of doing that, we're going to open a touchable opacity component. So you must first import that touchable opacity component. Here it is. Import that from React Native. You can see on top there. So going to write touchable opacity, and inside this touchable opacity component, we're going to open another view, and we call it, okay, we're going to pass a style which is called stars.view3. all right, these styles, you can name them whatever name you find convenient for you. I generally style my project like this. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's not a convention. You can style it whatever way you want. You can put whatever name, as long as it corresponds to what is in the style sheet. Everything will work without any problem. Now we're going to use the avatar component, and we pass some props to it. And this, we've imported it from React Native element. Make sure React Native element is installed in your project, because if it's not installed, you will definitely have errors. And I've shown the installation procedures and everything in video 1A. So the links are left in the description section. And for now, we're gonna leave the style object empty. We're gonna come back to that later. And we pass the size. For now, let's give it 30. I think that should be big enough. And now we have also to pass the path to our picture, and gonna use the require method. acquire and go to asset. We're gonna grab this from asset, and in asset we have a picture called blank picture, or blank profile picture instead. Profile pic, and that is a jpg file .jpg. So we have imported this picture, we have given the path to this prop, and I think that so just to tell you what we are building, let me open my, so we are currently building this component here, and this is the search area for addresses, for example your destination as well as origin. So currently we are here, we are implementing this. We have implemented this profile picture. Now we're going to implement the text as well as the icon, right? Sorry. So that being said, I'm going to open a text component. Open a text component here, and okay, let me make this small and see if we can share the screen. Awesome. I think this I'm just trying to see how small I can get the screen to get. Yeah, I think this looks better. So I want it to be interactive as I'm coding. It makes life easier. So yeah, this text component here that we're opening, it's this area which you see there. Okay, so we have a text written there for someone, so we put that text for someone. Okay, now we have also to create this icon at the far right hand. You can see where my cursor is, so we must create that icon. And in order to create this icon, we're just going to but before that, I think we must pass some style to this text. Can I just pass style margin left, and now let's create the icon. This is the icon there, as I said. So just below this text component, I think, see, open icon component, and make sure you import this from React Native element and not from React Native directly, because we're going to pass some type of props that are only working for React Native element. So the first prop is the type, and this is material community. And the second prop that we're going to pass is name. And the third prop is color. And here we're gonna grab the color object, take the gray colors. Again, I did show how we've done this in the first video, and so you can check that if you're having any problem. And you pass the size prop as well, and you're gonna pass 26 to it. So that's it. We have created this view. All right, So we have the picture, we have created the text, we have created the icon, and we also need to create this arrow, right? We have to create this left arrow, and that's very simple. That is simply an icon. It's an icon, and so what we're going to do, we're going to open a view on top of this view. Let's see, on top of the, just below the container component, we could open another view, and inside this view we're going to pass some styles. Okay, so, and one thing that I want you to notice is that the style that we're going to pass on here, this icon will be, how can I say, the position of the icon will be absolute. So, but for now, yeah, just follow what I'm doing. You will understand most of things as we go forward. So the style that we're going to pass here will be view 1. So we're going to say style is equal to okay, let's grab that from the style sheet, view 1, like that. Okay, and then inside this view component, we're gonna open the icon component, and we're going to pass again some props. I don't want to waste time tapping the props again because we have created already an icon component in this. So I can just copy all these props and paste them there. I think it makes life easier. All right, I'll paste them. Let's go scroll up, paste them there so we don't have to repeat ourselves. Normally I could have just copied the whole icon component, but yeah, I just realized that now. So we have this. Instead of 26, I'm going to put 32, and instead of this name here, we're going to put arrow left. So we're going to say arrow, sorry, left. Okay, and I'm going to save this for now, and let's check the emulator and see what is there now. Okay, we have this, we have the icon, but we don't see, we can't see these two, I mean these three components, the picture, the text, as well as the thing, this icon here. I know why we're having that problem. The problem is because we didn't cater for the status bar. Those components are actually hidden under the status bar. If you can see there's this icon here, this picture. So what we need to do, if we have to give some padding, and go to the container style, going to put here padding top, then we're gonna say this will be, we give the parameter property, then we say this will be status bar height. Let's save that and see what happens. Awesome. So this is working now. If we go to our presentation, you can see this is exactly what we have. Now we have to create this text, I mean this search bar. All right, and this is very easy to implement. So we have successfully created that. We're going to begin now creating the search bar, and scroll up. Let me make this bigger for now. Going to scroll up. We're going to open another view, and this view will be right below the view that we're going to open. Will be right below this touchable opacity component. So say view, and let's pass some styles to it. And the style that we're going to pass here is gonna be the styles view 4. All right, sorry, 4. And inside this view component, we're going to pass some children to it. The first one is a view component again. And inside this view, we're going to pass an image component. So now let me show you what we're doing. Right now we are creating this component here, which shows the destination and origin. So it shows that the top point is the origin and the bottom one is a destination. So this is actually a small PNG picture. If you go to the asset, and if you check the asset, you go to transit, you can see this is the one. So this is what we're going to use in our project. So import the image component from React Native. Can put it just in between here, image, like that. Import that from React Native and go back to our view. Type image, sorry, it should be an image component. Close the tag. Now we must pass some props to this image component. The first one is the style. So the style will be styles dot image 1, and the second prop, of course, it's the source property, and this we pass to it the path of our picture or image. So we say require from assets, and yes, asset anyway, and this will be transit picture. So this gives you the transit information, the origin and destination, right? So this will be a png dot png, and below this view here, below this picture view, going to open another view, open a view. Actually it should be the same level as this one, yeah, the same level, and also open a touchable opacity component. And inside this touchable opacity component, we're going to open a view, and let's pass some styles to it. And this we're gonna pass styles view 6, styles dot view 6. All right, like that. And we have a text inside here, so let's create a text component. And the text component will say, let me show you what we're building. So this is what you are building, right? So it's gonna be saying from where. Am I correct? So we're going to say from where. Write that here, from where, and question mark. And once you have this, you need to pass some stars to this as well. So the star, we pass styles dot text 10, and below this touchable actually, instead of star 6 here, give it 5. Let's pass 5 to it, and then below this touchable opacity component, we're going to open another view, and this view we're going to pass some stars to it as well. As usual, star will be equal to stars dot view 8, and inside this we're going to create an icon. Instead of creating this again, I'm going to copy and paste, right? This will save us time because we are really running out of time, so we don't have to waste time on things that can be copied and pasted. So we paste that here. And then we're just gonna change the name. The name will be plus thick, and the size we pass, give it 25 instead of 26, and the color, this will be black. I'll show you what this component is just now. Black. Let's go to our presentation. So we're creating this icon here. This is the icon that we are creating right now, and so yeah, and that being said, what is next? Let's first save this and see how it looks on the emulator, and then we take it from there. You can save your project. Let me make this small. Save your project. Okay, we have something, but it's not exactly what we want. It's not exactly what we want. And so you're going to see what the problem is. First of all, okay, it's complaining about the icon name. This is supposed to be hyphen or minus sign. So let's see what's okay. So this icon is in the wrong place. It's supposed to be at the end, and so the first thing that we must do, first of all, let's pass some stars to this view. Okay, so you can see we are here. This view doesn't have a style, and this is the view that is parenting this component. So let's pass some stars to it, and let's see what happens. Say star equal to stars dot view 7. Let's give it view 7, and like that. Let's save and see. Okay, getting somewhere, right? getting somewhere. We are here now this is at the right place, and let's see what we have here. So this is at the top and this is supposed to be at the bottom. Okay. Let's scroll up and see. Okay, on top here, let's open a view, because we need to create let me just open we need to create this view as well. All right, this view is missing and they have to be in the same flex direction, which will be column, and so we must create a view inside this. And going to create another view inside this view, and we pass some styles to it. And the style that we're going to pass to it will be view 6. So styles dot view 6, like that. Okay, and we have to pass also a text component inside here. Text component, and this text component will say from where. Okay, from where, and we pass some styles to it as well. And the style will be styles dot text one, like that. Okay, we have created this view and we have given it the styles, and the parent view is this one. So this view that you have created here, this is this top view. Now this is the bottom view, which is actually on our emulator, which is this one. So let's copy it. Let's copy that view. Let's see where it is exactly. This is the one. All right, this is the view. Copy that, cut it. You can cut that and then paste it below the view that you've just created. We have created these two, right? So paste it below this one, like that. Awesome. Wow, this is perfect. So let's open the emulator and see what happens, because now you have created this view here, which indeed represent this first part, and the second view, which is this one, which represent these two icons. But now instead of from where here, we should have these 3 dots. So delete that, put 3 dots like that, right? And let's go to our emulator. Hopefully this works. Let's save. Awesome, well done guys, this is working, and this is working. This is good, this is good. We're getting somewhere. Let's go to our presentation. We are here, so we have finished the first part. But before we go to this bottom sheet, if you click on this text component, right, if you've seen the demonstration, when you click there, it should open this text input, which is your Google Places autocomplete. So before we go any further, before we begin implementing this, because this depends on the Google Places autocomplete. This is the history places which you have saved, or places where you've been. So before we get here, we must first of all implement all this, and then we're gonna implement this, because this data come from all this API, which is Google Places autocomplete. So let's implement this Google Place autocomplete search area or text input. So when you click here, this must take you there. Awesome. So we are here right now. If I click, nothing happens. You can see nothing happens. So let's go to the navigations. Open the navigation folder. We are in the source folder, and in source folder we go to navigation folder, and you go to your stack navigators.js file. So we have 2 navigations so far. Copy this, duplicate it. So I'm gonna paste it just below it. I paste it there. So, and instead of instead of request screen, I'm going to put destination, and instead of a request screen there as well, I'm going to put destination screen. Destination screen, like that. Don't save yet. We're coming back to this just now. We must now create this destination screen, because you have registered a screen in your stack navigation, but this screen doesn't exist yet. So let's go to our screen folder and create a new file, and I'm going to call it destination screen, destination screen.js. Okay, and I'm going to create a functional component. Awesome. I'm just gonna call it, let me type the destination like that for now, just for demonstration purpose. So save your destination screen. Now go back again to your stack navigator.js file. You now have to import this destination screen. All right, so go on top there. Let's just make it bigger for now. Import the destination screen. Awesome. So we have imported this. Now we can save it. This is great. Now we have to begin implementing Google Places autocomplete. And first of all, there's a library that we need to install in order to achieve Google Places autocomplete. Let me make this small. I'm going to open my, so Google Places autocomplete is very crucial API in this project, because this is how you get an accurate suggestion of the address. It eliminates errors. So for example, when I click there, it opens this, right, this text input, and I begin tapping my address there, and you see these suggestions. And when you click this suggestion, it will give you the right coordinate, your latitude and longitude, which will allow us to plot the route on the screen. Okay, so there's a library that makes the implementation of Google Places autocomplete in React Native very simple. You're going to open your browser. I'm going to open my browser as well. open the browser and go to Google and just type Google React Native Google Places autocomplete, this suggestion here. So you can type that in your search in Google, and then you're gonna get the first suggestion, which is React Native Google Places autocomplete. Take that one. So I think it's a fairly stable how can I say, library. You can see it has about 25,000 weekly download, and yeah, so it does a lot of interesting things. You can scroll the bottom. I think there's a comprehensive documentation on this if you want to do other things that are not covered in this video, but otherwise you can follow what I'm doing. You will be able to do or to achieve most of what is needed. And you can copy this link, npm React Native. So to install that, copy it, and once you've copied that, go back to your project. I'm gonna kill my terminal for now and we'll open it, and then paste that in here. So paste this and begin installing. So by pressing enter, that will begin installing. I'm going to pause the video and resume once the installation is done. My installation is complete for React Native Google Places autocomplete. So if you go to your package.json file, you should have that package installed. Here it is in my case. Okay, so you should have that there. That means it's properly installed. And one more thing that I have to mention is that for this library to work, you must have a Google Maps API key, and you must have the Google Places autocomplete API enabled in your Google account. I did show how to do that in tutorial number 1, and I will leave the link in the description area. So if you do not have the Google Maps API key, this library will not work for you. So I want to go back to showing how to get the API keys and all that, because I've done that already in the first tutorial. You can go in the first tutorials, and there are chapters in that description area, so you'll find exactly how to set up your Google Map APIs and things like that. That being said, and let's now go back to our project. First of all, to the cheat sheet or the project presentation. So you will see that on top of this Google Place search area, you have this view here, and this view is exactly the same as what is in here. Am I correct? You see? So we must implement this as well on top of this. So we're not going to code the same thing over and over. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some styles, which I'm going to paste as usual. I'm going to paste some styles in our destination screen.js file. We won't type all these styles, so we save time. Alright, these are the styles that I've pasted. It's not so many. So you have your container and view 1, view 2, and flight list, and that's it. Okay, and also have some stars for Google Place autocomplete, and these are the stars for Google Place autocomplete, and that's all. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I see there's a problem here. I see there's an error on top there, so this is due to this one here. I think you can cut that. And if I paste it back, why we get the same error? Okay, let's see why we're getting the error. Oh, okay, I see, this is supposed just to be an object. All right. So you can save your file. That should be fine. And there's one more thing that I will do. I'm going to copy all the code that we, not all the code, but just this view. Let me make this small. I'm going to copy this top view here and paste it in our destination screen. So if you scroll on the top, you can find that view, which is all these two, or this as well as this view. Okay. Actually, this one we can copy simply from the touchable opacity. All right, you can copy it simply from there. So copy that touchable opacity component, copy that, go to destination screen, paste it there. Go back again to request screen, copy this view, and paste it on top of the touchable opacity component. All right, and now we must import this component as well. So we must go back again there to the request screen.js, copy this React native element import and paste it there on top, and also copy the colors because we will need this, and paste it there. And most probably we might need this. Let's just copy it as well, the dimensions, APIs, and we have to now import all these APIs. So the dimensions API from React Native. You also have to import touchable opacity from React Native. What else? So I think that should be it. We can now delete this. We don't need that anymore. So I think it looks all right. I'm going to squeeze this in. I'm also going to squeeze this in like that. So your code should always look neat. My code are not that neat, but yours should look neat. Right. Okay. Now let's confirm that all these styles are available in our style sheet. So we have view 1, 3, and so we have view 1 there, view 3, 2, 24, and so forth. So that looks right for me. Now let's save it. Let's save this file. Hopefully we won't have any problem. We go to our emulator. We must first run the project because I did kill this terminal. So I'm going to rerun the project. Expo start. So let me now run again the project. I'm going to say run Android emulator. So I assume you're working on your device I did recommend that because the emulator has got limitations. For example, from the emulator you won't be able to get your current location. Okay, so make sure you're working with your device. You must download the Expo client app so that you will be able to run this test directly from your phone. And that being said, the project is building, and let's see if we're gonna have any problem. You can see already some. Okay, let's see. Okay, things look to be fine. Now let me go to the request screen. Okay, if I click so far nothing happening, so you have to add on press event to these views. So go to your request screen. The first thing, let's grab the navigation prop, import navigation there, and then scroll down and let's edit from here, but we will change it a bit later on, or not here, sorry. Do you have any touchable? Okay, I'm just trying to see exactly which view will be the right one. Okay, we have to add a touchable opacity component to this view. So open touchable opacity. Sorry, that should be a component. Touchable opacity, and close it from the bottom here like that. We squeeze this in. Sorry. So you can see this is actually this view here, this component. So we want to add a on press event to it. So that's why I'm wrapping it around this touchable opacity component. So I'm passing this view as a child to this touchable opacity component so that we can be able to add a press event to it. So now we can listen to on press event. You can say on press, and when this is pressed, we want to navigate to the to our Google autocomplete, right? So we're gonna say on press navigation dot navigate, and this will be destination screen. We can give it whatever name. You don't have to give it the same names, but as you're following along, so you should use the same name so that we avoid confusion, and if there's a problem we can easily fix it. Destination screen, like that. So this is what you've done. Okay, we've just added that touchable opacity to this view here. Now you can save that and go to your emulator. I'm sure if we press here it should take us to the destination screen. We're having problems. Let's see what problem it's saying. Okay, it's saying destination screen was not rendered by any navigator. That's strange. Let's go to our stack navigator. We have destination screen here. Oh, sorry. Instead of destination screen, we only did put destination. So must add screen there, because that is the reason why it doesn't know this screen. Okay, make sure that is the name there. And yeah, it's quite normal to to have this type of bugs. So now if you press, awesome, it's taking us to the destination screen, but we're still having a problem because we do not have this view yet. So we need to see why is it that we're not getting this. All right, so and if you press there, nothing also happened. We're going to fix that just now. Go to your destination screen, and the first thing you must first add a container style in here. When I say styles, style equal to styles dot container, and let's save. Boom, you have this in the middle. It's supposed to be on the top, but right now we're getting it here. So let's see why we're having that. First of all, comment out this flex one. Let's see what happened. So when you comment out the flex one, it's hidden inside there, and you're going to pass some padding top to this container, and we pass the parameters status bar height like that. So because those components, they are hidden under the status bar, I can see them but they are under the status bar. That's why we have to get these parameters. And if you have followed the first video, you know exactly how we did this. And if you don't understand, you can go back to tutorial number 1. You will see how we've done all these things. Awesome. Now you have this view. You have that view there, which is exactly what we have in our, on this Google Place search bar. Now let's create this search bar and go back to your destination screen. Let me make it bigger. The first thing that we're going to do in order to implement the Google Place autocomplete, we must first import the library that we did install. All right, on top here in destination screen.js, can import Google Places autocomplete from React Native Google Places autocomplete. Here it is imported on top there. Okay, so once this is imported, now we can use it inside our application. You can scroll down to this one here, open that component, Google Places autocomplete. It's self-closing component. Now we need to pass some props to it, and the first one we're going to pass is nearby places API, and then we're gonna pass Google Places. Okay, and then a placeholder. Let me make this small so we can see what we're doing. So we are doing this screen, so the placeholder is going to be going to, all right, this is where we are. I'm gonna put going to, and I think there are 3 dots after that, and also have to add another prop. It's called list list view displayed. I'm gonna put it to auto, and also the bounce. This is the time space that you have to live in, so this will be 400 milliseconds. And we're also going to pass another prop. It's called current location. As you can say, current location, we can put it to, let's say, true for now. Before we proceed, we should create the reference to this component here. So we're going to use the useRef prop from React. You can go there and going to import that, useRef, like that. So I've created already two references. I'm just gonna paste them so that we don't waste time. Okay, so I'm going to call this first one text input one, just above here. I'm going to paste that here. Okay, like this. I did use 24, but you can use any number. Let's keep it to, let's say, 4 for now. And you can copy this and paste it at the bottom, call it 5. And now you should change this to 2. I'll show you why we're doing all this just now, but for now you can follow what I'm doing. If you scroll down, then we must now use the ref that you've created. Say ref, we're going to pass the references that you have created. We're just going to use one anyway for now, so we're gonna put text input 1 for the reference, and there's another prop that we must pass it, min length. This is the length at which the Google Place will be responding. For example, if you tap 2 characters, then Google Place will be able to give you the suggestion. I'll keep it to 2 because generally maybe the first character might be mistaken, and it also reduces the number of requests that you're going to be making to the Google servers. And then the other prop that you're going to pass is called enable powered by container. I don't want to show this. Generally you would have powered by Google, but I'm just gonna put that false for now. We don't need that, false. And fetch details, we're going to keep that to false as well. And autofocus for our text input, I think we're gonna keep it also to false, or keep it true. Yeah, let's put it true, so that when you go in, you have your keypad here already active, so that the user can start inputting the address. So we put that true. And also the styles, we must pass some styles for this input, the text input. So the style is gonna be an object which we've created already at the bottom. So we're gonna say autocomplete. And now we have to pass some other properties. We call the query, it's going to be an object which takes the key. This will be your Google map. Okay, so here I did create environment variable for this project, if I'm not mistaken. No, I didn't. Okay, let's see if I've installed that in my package.json, because here you have to create some environment variables. That's where you're going to keep all your API keys, because you don't want to be putting your API keys all over your project. So I see that I haven't installed that library yet, so we're going to install that. I'm going to kill my terminal for now, and if you go to Google again, just go back and type React native environment variables. You get this one, open it. So there's quite some setup that must be done in order for this to work, but I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show that now. So copy this link and install this library, and there's comprehensive documentation for this library. Really, it's very simple to use, but if you don't set it up properly, then you will end up getting errors, and it won't be working for you. Okay, so that being said, copy that and go back to your project. In the terminal, paste it and then press the enter key. This will begin installing, and while it's installing, you're going to create a .env file. Create a new file, call it .env, like that. This is where you're going to save all your environment variables. Inside here, I'm going to create the first variable. It's gonna be called Google Maps API key. Okay, and then open a string. This will be your API key. So take your API key and paste it inside here. So I'm going to paste mine, and yeah, so I've done pasting my key inside this environment variable, but now we still have to do some setup, okay, before we use it here. So we need to create a file. Okay, go to bible.config file, go to this file here, bible.config, and inside this file I'm going to paste something. So if you have followed from the previous video, and I think we did use this, but because we have to also set sometime React Native reanimated, but for now we're just gonna keep it for the environment variables. So I'm going to paste some lines of code that you should type in your project. I'm just copying that right now. So below this preset prop, you can paste that. Okay, so make sure you type all these lines of code, because soon we're gonna be using React Native reanimated plugin, so I've included it as well. And so you can type these lines of code here the way that you see them. So this will tell your project about the plugins that you are using. Okay, and let's see, there's an error. I think I did plug it. why are we having an error here? Let me see. Okay, I forgot one closing bracket for this array. Sorry. Yes, now it's okay. So make sure this is correct, exactly as you see, the number of brackets and closing tag for your arrays and things like that. So that being said, you can save it and make sure you have your environment variable key inside here, the right one. And if that is done, you're gonna have to close your project, your emulator, and rerun it. And inside your package.json file, make sure you have installed React Native Reanimated, because we have used that plugin inside here. Okay, so close that, close this as well, and also close this. Now we can use the environment variable that you have created. So I'm gonna import that. Just gonna say import. Let me just do something here. Close this in the meanwhile so that it can be running. Close that and rerun the project while recording. Say export start, like that. So while the project is running, then I'll be coding so that we save time. I just want to run my emulator. See it has started. Let me click there. See that should work. All right. So while it's running, let me import the environment, the API key that we have just created. So I'm just gonna say import Google there's no suggestion for that, it's okay. Google Maps API key, and this will be from @nv. So you can import that and go back to the query prop. Now I can add Google API key like that. So we're still having an error, so I'll have to see why we're having that. Okay, this is because we didn't open an object here. There should be an object. Awesome. And there's another prop that you must add to this, and that is the language prop, and this we're gonna keep it to English. So your suggestions will be given in English. Okay, let's save this. Let's close that. Let's see if everything is working. Okay, we have something, but it's not what we want it to be. So we have to see why is it giving this problem. The first thing that we should try to do is let's see some styles here. Let's try to put this flex back to 1. Gonna put this flex back to 1, and let's see what happens. Okay, nothing happens. I think this let's do some magic, some tricks here. I think this thing is not happy having been in another view. It doesn't support having parent views. So I think let's remove this view here. Let's just create a normal tag like that, leave it like that, and scroll down. And let's save and see. Okay, now we have that. And let's try to remove this flex one, see what happens again. Okay, we need to get those components also showing. Okay, I think there's something that we should do. Let's wrap all these views inside the view as well. Okay, because right now we have these two views, they are just outside, they are not. Let's create a view. I think this can help solve the problem. And to this view, let's pass a style. The style that we're going to pass here will be styles.view2. Okay, and now let's cut all this code until just before the Google place autocomplete. Cut this and paste it inside here like that. Okay, let's squeeze this in. Let's make this big so you can see what's happening. So what I've done is I've added this view inside the parent view and given the parent view this style here. Let's see if this will help. Let me pull this up like that. Let's save, but before that let's go to the emulator. I'm going to save. Okay, it gives us a nice space now, but yet we still don't have the view, because this is what we should have, right? We should have these icons, the picture, the text, as well as that small icon at the right hand. And let's just maybe try to refresh if that will help. No, still not. Okay, let's now see why is it not still showing. Let's scroll down and uncomment this flex one, but anyway we're not using this container, so this shouldn't be a problem. But let's see, and let's also scroll down to view 2, because this is the parent view. Alright, view 2 is the parent view. Cool. I think the solution should be to add another view here and pass a property for the position of the item. Okay, so open a view just below this touchable opacity. Let me make this bigger so you can see what I'm doing. So you can see that there is a touchable component just above your Google Places autocomplete between this. So for this view, for this touchable opacity component, open a child view beneath it and close it at the bottom like that. Let's squeeze this inside. Okay, pass some styles to this view. I'm gonna say top, pass 25 to it, and we should also align the items. We say center. I think this should solve the problem, guys. Can now save it. So assume you've seen what I've done. You can save it. Awesome, there we are. It's working. So if I go back and click from where, there we are. It takes us to the destination screen. And now this button here is not working yet, so it's just a matter of adding the navigation prop to it. First of all, let's grab that from the screen itself. Grab navigation prop like that, and then the icon is this one. On press, we want to go to navigate back to the original screen. So we're gonna say on press navigation dot go back like that. Let's save it. Now if I press, they are taken back to the request screen. Okay. Okay, we're going to continue with what we're supposed to do now. We must now be able to type in address, and we should get the suggestions. This is awesome. Whatever address you type in here, you will be getting suggestions, and this is real time, and I'm here. But so far, even though I'm taking an address, that is not helping at all. We have completed the Google autocomplete, Google Places autocomplete, but so far it's not helping because we have to grab the GPS coordinate of the place. That's the main idea. So we should grab this and store that into a local store. So for that, we're going to implement what a local store, a global store for all our data, so that this location coordinate can be accessed from another screen. Okay, so I hope you understand what we're going to do next. So we want to be able to take the coordinate of this place and store them somewhere. Before that, let me show you that we are able to get the coordinate of the place. I'll show you that just now. Go scroll down to the Google Place autocomplete, and here let's take the on press event, and I want us to console log. We're going to console log the data that we're fetching, and before that, inside here, we're going to grab details and data. Can also take data, and we should normally set all those things to null. We should set all those to null. So we say all these details Let's pass null to it to be pointing to null. Now I'm going to console.log. Just follow what I'm doing. You'll understand exactly why am I doing this just in a few minutes. I'm going to console.log details .geometry. Okay, and let's save. So now I'm going to tap an address. Let's say the address that I'm going to tap, I'm gonna call it 55 Pretoria Road. You can tap any address that you know. You can even tap your own address right now and see what happens. And when you see the right suggestion, you click on it. Okay, right now we're getting undefined here, so that means you're having a problem. So we're supposed to get the coordinate of this address when we press there. I'm going to check my network to make sure everything is fine. Okay, I've checked my network. There's no problem, but there's actually, I think the problem is here. Fetch details, we're supposed to put it true instead of false. Make sure you change that to true, and let's save and try again. Okay, so let me type an address. I'm going to say 32 Olivia Road. Awesome, now it's working. If you see in the terminal, if you check in the terminal, we have this object with the location coordinate. So we have your latitude and longitude. So whatever address you tap there, you can grab all these details from here. So if we can console the all data we're getting there, just to see exactly, let's instead of geometry, let's console log details in general. Let's see what details we get. These are the results we get when you select the address. So if I save that and let me type a new address in there, and I'm going to say, let's say 55 22 Basis Street. You can see I'm changing the address, so you can see that everything is working. And if you go down, you're gonna see now we have this object which has been logged. So we're getting a lot of details. You can decide whatever information you want to take from the place which the user has given. Okay, you can see the street information, and you can get your postal code. For example, this is the postal code of the area. So it's just a lot of information. You get the country name, and so, but for us, we're going to focus mostly on the latitude and longitude. That's what we want, so that we can display the location on the Google map. Okay, because the purpose of all this is that let me open the cheat sheet, is that when I put the address here, I take this coordinate to the Google map, and finally I should plot the route. So this is the purpose of all this. Okay, that's the main reason. Now you can see that we're getting this coordinate from a different screen. You have to be able to take this data to this screen here and to this component. There are many ways to do that, but the most practical way to do it is to have a local storage, which is a global store. So we could use Redux to implement that, or we could use React context APIs as well as hooks, reducers. So we can use those context APIs and use reducer hooks in order to implement a local storage. General Redux could do that, but Redux is a third-party library that you need to install, so that would be making the app bigger. So I generally prefer to use context hooks as well as reducers. I combine the two to create a global store, and that's what we're going to do in this project. So let's create first of all a global store for our data. So we're going to implement that with context as well as reducers. We did create a context folder and it's empty right now. We also did create a reducers folder and it's empty right now. So you're just going to follow what I'm doing, and it's going to be very simple. Create a new file inside the context folder and just call it context. We can call it, should we put it to plural, or I generally put it to plural. So just gonna say context.js, and inside this context.js file we're going to create a context that will store the latitude and longitude and address and name of the user. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to import React, and we're also going to import create context API. Create context from React. Like that. Okay. Could also import use state, but okay, we won't need that for now. Let's use reducer. Why is it giving us these problems? I think something is not right. Why is this thing's messing up my code now? Because it's giving me wrong suggestions. Okay, for now let's leave it for now. Let's first create the context. That's what is important. So if you see here, this is the origin, because the user has got the origin as well as the destination. That means that the place where he has to be picked up and the place where he has to be dropped. So we're going to create the origin context as well as destination. So we're going to say export const origin context, and you say create context like that. Okay. And once you've done this, Now we're going to create the actual origin context. We're just going to say export const, okay, origin context provider, and this let's grab some props and we'll retain provider. It's gonna be origin context dot provider sorry, it's supposed to be opened. And we must pass some this should expect some children, so this will be some React native component or some JSX. So we're gonna say props dot children, otherwise this component won't know that it can take children, so you have to specify this here, say children, and we must pass some prop to it, and we're gonna say value origin, and also gonna pass some method here, dispatch. We can say dispatch origin. You can give it whatever name. I'm just giving this method this name, dispatch origin, and like that. Now we need to create this method, so let me make this big. So we must create this on top here. We're gonna say const origin and dispatch origin use reducers. This thing is really messing me up real. Say use reducer. Just leave it like that. Use reducer, and here we're gonna say origin reducer. We're gonna create this as well. Origin reducer. For now, just tap it like this. We're going to import it and create it into the reducer file. Okay. So now you can follow. By the time we finish this, you're gonna understand exactly what we've been doing and why we've been doing that. As I did say in the beginning, I expect you at least to have a basic knowledge of React Native as well as React, because it's not possible to cover everything in details. I cannot cover React Native in details as well as this project in details at the same time, but I expect you to have a basic knowledge of what I'm busy doing right now, because this is just a normal standard procedure to create a global store based on context as well as reducers. So this origin sorry for that, this origin will be an object which will have latitude, and we give it initial state of null. Originally it's gonna be null as it is, and longitude as well. I have longitude, originally it's gonna be as well null, or the initial state will be null. We're gonna have address, which will be a string, and it will be empty initially. And we also have name, the name of the user, but it's not really needed anyway, but for now let's put it, the name, which will be also initially in an empty state. It's raining outside. You might hear some noise. It's the rain has just started here, but I cannot stop this video because it has to be finished as I promised. So we have created our context, so we'll be able to dispatch this data. Okay, we'll be able to store latitude, longitude, address, as well as name, and we can use this method in order to dispatch this data. And if you want to use this data to grab it, we'll be able to grab it from the origin. That's why we're passing this property here. So any child that will be inside this can have access to this origin as well as dispatch method. I don't know if that is clear. It's very simple, it's very basic. So any children, any component, React Native component that can be rendered inside this will be able to access this origin, and this is an object which has got this property. And if you use this method, you can change the property of this object, meaning the values of each of this property. And that is it in a nutshell. Let's save. We must first import this origin reducer, which we're going to create very soon. So inside just below this, I'm going to import, we said origin reducer, here it is. Sorry for that. Origin reducer, we import it from reducers. Right, you have this folder here called reducers, and also reducers. Okay, this is a mistake, I've done it twice. Reducers, you can save that. And now let's go to the reducer folder. You should have a reducer folder which is empty right now. Inside that, create a new file, call it reducers.js. And now we're going to create the reducer that you have just used. If you see in the context, we have used this reducer, but it's not yet created. So now let's create it. It's very simple. And once you've created one like this, you can just copy and paste to create others. Okay, so inside this reducers.js file, what we're just gonna say is export const, right, const origin, that was origin reducer. Here it is being suggested to us, and this can have state, that means this will be the initial value, and can have action, it can take also actions, and this will be a function, and then we can switch between different states and then retain the desired data. Okay, So we can have some switch cases which checks for conditions, and when those conditions are true, then we can return the data or update the data that we want to and return it. Okay, so what we do, we're gonna use switch cases, and this will be acting on action dot type. Okay, grabbing this action there and say action dot type. Sorry, this is supposed to be arrow. Action dot type, and here we pass the cases. The first case, we're gonna say add origin, like that, and if that is true, then we'll say return the following. We update our state, so update latitude, say latitude, and then we say action dot payload dot latitude. We also gonna update longitude, say action dot payload dot longitude. We can also update the address if you want to, and then we say action dot payload dot address. Maybe the name as well, it's not that important, but let's include it anyway. Action dot payload dot name. And by default, we just gonna return the state. So that means if there's nothing, if there's no option, when this is called, we're just going to return the state. Okay, so that's it for this reducer. We can save it, but right now we cannot use this data, or we cannot push data, because you have to wrap this up inside our context provider. So go to app.js file, and we're going to wrap this component inside our provider which we've created. Say that was origin context provider, and then we can cut this and paste it inside instead. Cut that and paste it here, like that, and make sure that this is imported here. Okay, it must be imported, and you can save. Now we have created a global store. That means now we can access or push data to this store from any screen inside our application. So we can now go to the request, to the destination screen. Go to the destination screen. When we choose one item, we dispatch this data to the store. Okay, and I want to make it in such a way that when we dispatch this data, then we can navigate back to the previous page. So after this, we can then say navigation dot go back, like that. Awesome. We can now go to the request screen, and inside here scroll up, going to import some hooks from React. So we're going to make use of use state, import that, and now let me just show you what we're going to do now. Now you are able to get the coordinate of the place which you put. Now what I want to do is we need to display those coordinates on the map. Okay, we're going to display that on the map, and yeah, let's do that. So we're going to say that const user origin, and going to say set user origin. Okay, set the user origin and then say use state. It's gonna be an object. The user origin is an object, and we'll say we also have to import the we have to consume our context in here. We have to consume that. So instead of me typing, I'm just going to copy what we've done in here. I'm going to say we import this, copy that, and paste it there. And also we can also what else do we need to copy here? We can copy what you've done in here. We can copy this, and paste it on top there, and can say user origin. I think that was not user origin. What was it actually? Let's see. In our context, just origin. Okay, we say origin. So it's supposed to be the first okay, doesn't matter anyway. It's still whether it's in front or at the back, it's not a problem. So we have the origin there, so we can consume this context. We're now able to consume that, right? So now we're going to pass the data which we will be consuming from this context. We're going to pass it to our state, to this state here. So we're gonna say latitude will be equal to origin dot latitude. And we say longitude will be equal to origin dot longitude. I must have a comma here. And also, I think what else do you need to pass to this? I think that should be it. And now we can pass this data. So what I will do is go to your map component. We're gonna create some property for this component as well. I'm gonna say user origin, and this will be equal to the user origin, like that. Okay, now let's go to our map component. Save this file first before going. Save that, and then go to component folder, open, and go to map component.js. Okay, now here we have access to the user user origin prop which we've passed from the request screen. Inside the map component.js, we're going to create some markers. So for those who don't know, the marker is let me open this. So this dot here is a marker, so it shows the location of the user. So we're going to create that first before creating the route. Okay, so we are here, by the way. Yeah, so open a marker component. So we're going to say map view dot marker, and we close that, and this will take an image component as a child. So we pass an image component to this, say image, and close the tag. Pass the normal prop to it, which is the source, the first one, to get the path of the picture. So this will be a require method, and then we grab this from assets, and this will be location.png, location, sorry, not location.png, and we also need to pass some styles to this. For that, I'm going to copy some styles and paste them. I'm simply going to copy styles because we don't have time to type all these styles. It's really a lot of styles to type, and as I said, there will be a link. There will be a link where you could get all these styles in the description section, but otherwise I can scroll it for those who want to type. So for now, you can remove this. We're gonna do this sometimes later. Forget about that for now. So these are the styles. There's some stuff that I've commented which we might look at later on. So you can pause as I'm scrolling so that you can type the styles if you want to, but otherwise I will also leave a link in the description so that you can have access to all these things. Okay, so those are the styles, and for this image, which will be the marker, this image will be representing the marker. So what we will say is I'm gonna pass styles, and for the style we're gonna say this will be equal to styles dot marker origin. Okay, let's put to marker origin 2 for now, and we say resize mode, pass cover to it. Sorry. And the marker needs some properties, and that will be the longitude and latitude, as well as latitude delta, as well as longitude delta. So in order to do that, actually we don't even need to put latitude delta and longitude delta. Once you have the latitude and longitude, that is enough actually to render the map. Those are the two main coordinates for this marker. So I'm going to say coordinate, and to this we're going to pass the props, and this will be, we grab it from the this operator dot origin, dot user origin, like that. And there's also another prop which we should pass here. We can say anchor equal to x 0.59 and y, okay, let's keep it to 0.5. Can keep everything to 0.5, and y 0.5 as well. And we need to create a condition before rendering this marker. Okay, and the condition will be that in order to render this marker, the latitude must be true, or one of them. We can say this props dot user origin dot grab the latitude, this should not be equal to null. It should not be equal to null. If that is true, then you can render this component. So I hope you understand what I'm doing. As I said, all this we're trying to do is to render the origin marker, which is this, and after this then we're gonna also render the destination marker, and that's where we're gonna stop for today, because I see the video is getting long, but let's see how far we get anyway. So I'm going to save this. I'm not sure if there will be an error, we will see. Okay, same colors and all this. Okay, we need to copy that somewhere. Let's copy the colors and all these parameters and paste it there. Okay. Apparently there's some problems. Okay. Use context can't be found. Let's go to the request screen. Did we import use context? No, we must import that from React. Make sure that is imported there and save again. Let's see, is there any other problem? Okay, first problem sorted. Let me type 55 Pretoria Road, Comet, South Africa. Seems like there's been a very bad error. I'm going to check that and see what the problem is. I think there's some problems. Okay, I've restarted my emulator and the problem is cleared. Let's test again and see if that persists. So you go and tap your address again and tap 55 Pretoria Road. Okay, so far it's showing me nothing. Alright, there's nothing, and the reason is that the data is not updated when this origin changes, because initially it is null. And if you go to our map component, what we're saying is if the data is null like this, if it is equal to null, this map component should not, this marker component should not be rendered. So we have to make sure that this is updated so that this component can be rendered. So in order to update the origin whenever it is changed inside our store, we have to use state hook. So import the use state there. We have imported it already because you have used it already, and we're going also to make use of use effect, which I've imported on top here. Make sure you import use effect, and we're going to use the use effect to update this component, this state, this user origin state, because initially it is set to null. All right, and the next time when it is updated, then there's no way it can be updated because we don't tell our operating system or our application to update it. So in order to do that, we're going to use effect hooks, and this will return a callback, and it will be checking some state, and the state that we should be monitoring, it's called origin. Put origin there. So this origin is the data that comes from our store, our origin store. All right, so we're saying that if this data changes, you have to run to execute the code that will be in here. So you can copy this and paste it there. And let's say set user origin. So what happened when this changes? We set the user origin with the new latitude as well as new longitude. Okay, so let's save that. Hopefully this will clear the problem, and let's check our emulator. There we have now the marker showing. Okay, for example, if I go back and put the new address to be, let's say, we can put, let's say, Morocco. Okay, let's just put Morocco. You can see now it has changed the location. If you put France, it will come here. Let's try that. Put France, and here's France. Awesome, there we are in France. If you put let's say Germany, let's try Germany. And if you put Germany, there we are in Germany. So the Google Play autocomplete is working, and we are able to grab the location data, which is latitude and longitude, and display it on the map. So this is a great move. Now to create the destination marker, we're going to use the same procedure that we have used to create the origin marker. All right, so these two markers, it's the same thing. The only difference is the pictures that we have put there. So we're going to follow the same procedure that we have used for this to create the second marker, which is the destination marker. So the first thing we have to do is we have to be able to also search the destination address from Google Play's autocomplete. And so let's go back to the destination screen. Let me just close some of the screens here. We are in the destination screen, and we need to create another Google Play autocomplete for searching the place for searching the destination, I mean. So in order to do that, the simplest way is just to copy this. We're going to duplicate this, copy this Google Play autocomplete component, and copy that. Okay, before we do this, actually before doing this, we must first create the destination context, because we must also be able to save the destination data into the global store. So that means we must create the context as well as the reducer for the destination. So it's very simple. We're not gonna type code, it's just copy and paste, because we have got a foundation already. So what we're gonna do, we're going to add something here. We're just gonna say destination reducer, like that, and we're going to create that reducer just now. And we're going to create another context. Just copy this and paste it below this, and instead of origin there, you put destination, and also we're going to copy this. All right, and let's paste it at the bottom here, and instead of origin context, so what I'm doing is simply duplicating the context that you have created. I'm duplicating the same thing for the destination. The initial one was origin context, now we're creating destination context. So I've just copied that and changing the name. Wherever there was origin, I'm putting destination. So instead of origin, I'll be putting destination. I'll put destination there. Whereas there is origin, I'll put destination. Here also I'll put destination, and I'm also gonna put destination there. And so as I said, wherever there is origin, we remove origin and put destination. So this is the second reducer. And okay, the data, we leave it origin, put destination as well as the destination here as well, and destination. So I think that should be it. So we've just created a destination context as well now. So we have two contexts now. We have the destination context and we also have the origin context. So this is good. Now we must also create the reducer. We're going to follow the same procedure. Go to the reducer.js file, and so we're just gonna duplicate this again. Just copy it and paste it at the bottom. All right, and what we do is wherever there's origin, just put destination, and here instead of add origin, we're gonna say add destination. And is there anything? I think that's it. So you can save that as well. So you have got everything right. Now go to your app.js file. We need to wrap our application, and we must say destination context provider, like that, and then we must wrap our root component around this component here called destination context provider. So it's gonna be destination. You can paste that at the bottom as a closing tag, like that, and let's just make it neat and releasable. You can save that. Alright, now our application has got access to this context, so we can grab and also we can save destination data to our global store. Now let's go back to the destination screen. Now we can create another Google Place autocomplete for the destination. So I think we did create two references here. Just make sure you have these two references in your project. So you can see that one reference was not used yet, so we're going to use this now. Okay, so copy your Google Place autocomplete component and paste it at the bottom of this one, just below it, paste it there. So now we have two Google Places autocomplete component, and we must change the reference. There should be a reference here. We have to put 2, so it's gonna be text input 2, and the other one is text input 1. All right, so everything else will remain the same, but instead of dispatch origin in the second Google Place autocomplete, instead of dispatch origin here, we're going to be dispatching destination. So put destination, and instead of add origin, we're going to be adding destination data. And everything else to remain the same. We're going to be dispatching the same information, just that it's going to be for the destination. And okay, everything else is fine. We leave everything, and here instead of going to, I think here we're going to put actually, yeah, here it's going to, and origin is from, so actually here it's supposed to be from. All right, it makes sense. So from, this will be the origin, and going to, which is the destination. And that being said, we must first create that or import that context, destination context. So let's do that before we forget. Import that, as well as we must now be able to grab it here, so you can just copy that and paste there, and here change it to destination, dispatch destination, and here instead of origin context, it's gonna be destination context, and like that. Okay, but now we have two Google Places autocomplete. we have to create some state so that we know that when you are finished inputting your origin and you have successfully gotten your origin data, then you can display the only then can you display the destination Google Place autocomplete text input. So we're going to create some state for us to be able to control these two components, right? Because now we have two components that are identical and we have to be able to distinguish them and use them in the specific cases. So in order to do that, we must import use state from React. Import use state from React, and we're going to create some state and we're going to call it something. We're going to call destination. All right, you can call it destination. So you can give it whatever name. Sometimes I run out of name really, so you can give it any name. I'm going to say use const. I'm just gonna call it destination, right, and set destination. So this will be the destination state. So I'm gonna say use state, and the initial value will be false. That means the destination will always be false whenever you come to this screen. So you have first to put the origin and then the destination. Okay. And I'm also going to create another okay, this one is enough. So what I will say is we now need to control these two components. We must put some bracket here so that we are able to control it. And the bottom there put another bracket, curly bracket. The same with this component. Open another curly bracket and close that. So now we are able to control this component and when they should be rendered. So I'm going to say that this one should be rendered if the destination is false. So I'm gonna say destination, or let me put okay, destination equal to false, then you should render this. Okay, and for this one I'm going to say destination true, then you can render this one. Oh, sorry, like that. So now we're rendering this component based on these conditions. This is the condition. So and here, instead of navigation, instead of going back, we're not gonna go back. Instead, we're gonna set the destination to true, because you assume that at this time we have the origin data. So I'm gonna say set destination to true, and that's it. And now we're going to save and see what happens. Let me make this bigger, and I'm going to save this. And let's go to the from where. So you must give your origin location location where you want to be picked up, or where your friend want to be picked up, because actually we're ordering the Uber for someone. Maybe you're ordering for your girlfriend, for your wife, and yeah, so you're gonna say where they have to be picked up from. And in this case, let me say, for example, I'm going to put a name of a country. I'm gonna say let's say Kenya. Okay, that's the pickup location. This is just an example. You can put whatever address you want, and then I'm gonna say they have to be dropped to Tunisia. All right, and let's see. You can see that now this thing is working, because we are now being given two options to create the address. I don't know if you did notice that. All right, we have the from. If you put the from address, then they will give you an option to put the to address as well. So from France, let's see again if that work. France, that the origin location, you pick that up, and then they give you a second option too. We can now say Germany. All right, and then that's it. But so far it's just giving us the origin. It's not giving us the destination. We have to be able to display the destination marker as well. So this is very simple. We're gonna again repeat the same thing we've done for the origin marker. Go to the request screen. In the request screen, we did create this state here called user origin, right? And we also did import this data. We have to do the same for the destination. So we must first import the destination context. Import that destination context, and then we just gonna copy and paste this. Let me just make this a bit better, and copy these two. What's happening with me now? Copy that and paste it down here. And now we must change all this wherever there's origin for these two lines to destination. So here actually I won't need okay, I won't need this dispatch anyway, but it's okay. Let's just leave it for now. Destination, and instead of dispatch origin, it's gonna be dispatch destination. And also here, instead of origin, gonna be dispatch, destination context. Destination context. All right. And here, instead of user origin, it's gonna be user destination. So this is just very simple. And if you have any question, if there's anything you don't understand, you can write in the comment. And if you also understand everything and happy how it's going, write in the comment. And if you're not happy for anything, please give your suggestion so we can improve going forward. So I like reading your comments and your likes. It really helps building this channel. So we put set user destination, and the state data is the same, right? It's latitude and longitude for the destination as well. So now we must also create we must be monitoring the destination as well, and if ever the destination changes, we have to run this code here. Okay, so I'm going to put destination inside here as well. and then if destination changes or origin, we're going to set destination as well with the new data. We're going to update the destination state. So that's what it means. So going to update the destination state, and let's first change the destination, set user destination. Like that, and then we will say instead of origin it's gonna be destination, and also here instead of origin it's gonna be destination. Even on top here I did forget to change here also, because we're talking about user destination, we have to change there with destination as well. Destination as well. Awesome. Now you have this. We must also add the destination property to the map component. So scroll down to the map component. We're going to create another property here. We call it user destination, and we pass user destination to it. All right, we could use ES6 just to put for example just origin or destination, but I'm just putting it like this so it's clear for people who do not have advanced knowledge of these things. All right, we can save this and then go to the map component. So go to your component folder and open map component.js file, and inside here we're going to duplicate this. We can see that most of things now we just copying and pasting because the functionality is actually the same, and this is the good thing about building these things in React Native. It makes life very easy. So now instead of grabbing user origin, we're gonna be grabbing user destination. Okay, gonna be grabbing user destination, and the same there, instead of origin put user destination. And we also have to change the marker, and let me see, as well as the icon. So let me just see what is the right icon that should be used for destination. I'm just checking my note to see what should be the right marker there. Or maybe we should check it from the asset folder. I don't know if we should check it from the asset. Let's check it from the asset. I seem not to find what I'm looking for. Let's check the asset, which one should be the, we have car and all this, location, have transit, not transit. We have location, okay, it seems to be location. Apparently it's the location that we should use. I thought it was going to be something else. Okay, it's okay, it's location. So we're gonna leave this. I think it's just the styles that we must change. I think it's just the style, so that we make this one round and the other one we keep it square. So alright, so the style here, we're gonna change the style to marker destination instead of origin. and that should be all that we need to do here for now. Hopefully this will work. Let me save this. Now let's go to our emulator. Time to test. It's time to test, guys. Let's see if this works. Oh, you see already we have the two markers there. Awesome, well done. And we can now be able to display the origin as well as the destination. This is good. We can, if you, let me just go to the home screen and restart this. Okay, we're still gonna have that because the data is saved in the global store. So it doesn't matter if you change the screen, the data doesn't change. So for it to change, we must put new addresses. That means we're going to update it. For example, I'm going to put the origin as Nigeria. Let's put Nigeria. And destination, we're going to put let's say Kenya. And now we are here in Africa. Here is the origin and here is the destination. So this will work for whatever address you put. For example, if I put United States, and going to I put Canada, right? You can see the suggestions are there given. And if you go to America, we are in America now. Here they are. We have the origin, we have the destination, America and Canada on top. So, but now you can see that we have to move the map around and it's not focusing and all this. This is not right. So you have to be able to make it that when these two data are available, the map should focus on these two markers. I don't know if you get my point. So we have to fit the map to these two coordinates so that we have a better view of what we're looking at. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very simple. Go to your map component, map component.js file, and inside this we're going to create some functions, but before that we must first create some references, and we need to create some state as well. So this first thing that I'm going to do, I have to create a class for this component, and I'm going to say constructor and super. You can pass props to it as well, but first I'm gonna create a state. I'm gonna say this dot state, and for now I'm gonna leave it empty. And we're going also to create some references. The first reference I'm going to create is the map reference. So I'm just gonna say this dot map. This will be equal to react dot create ref. Okay, like that. And the reference here, I can give it any number or whatever. I'm just giving it 5 for now. And now let's pass this reference to our map view, so we know that when we're speaking about ref5, we're referring to this component here, map view. So here we're going to say ref and the reference will be our map, right? So we're gonna say ref call this like that. So now we can play around with this map. We can apply some method to control the map. So I'm going to make use of the component component did update. Actually the component did mount lifecycle. Component did mount, and when the component is mounted, I want to focus to a specific area of the map, or zoom a specific area of the map. So I want to create a delay to that. I'm going to say set interval. And the interval time, I'm giving it 500 milliseconds. Okay, and here I'm going to say if this dot props dot destination dot latitude is not equal to null, then I'll say this dot map, that means you're referring to our map view, dot current dot fit to coordinate. Okay, and here I'm going to pass an array of the origin as well as destination. So this will be this dot props dot origin, user origin, and then we're gonna also take the user destination, this dot props dot user destination, and could also create some padding. So we can pass another object, and this will have edge padding. I pass top this dot props. Sorry, I'm just gonna give it some random numbers. For the top, I can say let's leave 150 pixels, and right, gonna say leave 50, left leave 50 as well, and bottom leave 150. Also, I want this to animate somehow. Don't want it to be just rough, so I'm gonna say animated. We set it to true. Okay, so that's it. We can save that, and let's see if now this can focus to a specific area. I think there's another problem which I think I've omitted. This is not supposed to be destination, simply supposed to be user destination, like that. I think this has been one of the cause of the problem, and here there's a mistake. Supposed to remove those two brackets. It's simply like that. Okay, and I'm going to save this. Hopefully this will solve the problem, and let me run the emulator again. You can also rerun your emulator. Expose start. I have my network. Yes. Okay, and while this is building, alright, let's just wait for it to build. Where's my emulator? Here it is. Okay, it won't be long, but let me just pause and resume as soon as it finishes. Awesome, it's building. The build is almost complete, and so I think your code should look like this. If this is the same, I think it should be sorted, because when I look at this, I don't see any problem that can prevent us from moving forward anymore. Alright, it asks me to allow the location. Okay, close that. Okay, let's go to ride with Uber. Awesome, now it's working fine. Now we're going to put addresses, the origin or the pickup location, as well as the destination location. So the pickup location, I'm gonna say let me put, let's say France, for example. You can put up an address or whatever, and then the destination, I'm going to say Germany. Awesome, here we have the two, but apparently it's not zooming as I wanted it. Let's change this method here. Instead of component did mount, let's say component did update. Let me just see. Let's say component did update. Let's put that. Let's save and see. Let me try again, put a new address. I'm going to say 55 Pretoria Road. Take that, and I'm going to say 32 Olivia. Awesome, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. So it's showing me the pickup location or the origin, as well as the destination, and the map is zoomed. You can see now the street, and this is exactly what we wanted. But I want to leave some padding at the bottom. Apparently that is not work. Let's see why. Bottom, let me put 350, or actually I can put 450 for top, and bottom let me put 350. Let me make this smaller so we can be looking at what we're doing. Let me save. Okay, let me just put the address again. I'm going to say 32 okay, 55 Pretoria and 32 Olivia Road. Okay, it doesn't seem to animate. I don't know why is it doing so. Let me close this and restart it. I'm just going to restart the emulator. I want to make sure that the animation and everything works. But also on the emulator, if the computer is freezing, it can cause that. I assume actually that should be the problem, because I can feel my computer is really overloaded and the emulator is struggling to do what complex animation, like animating a map. So most probably that's the reason. But on your phone it should work properly. You should have the map animating and zooming out and in and showing your addresses, the pickup location as well as the destination location properly. So you should have that. So yeah, the problem is actually my emulator, because I can see it's struggling to start and all this. So it's really the emulator which is causing that. But if it's working for you, please write in the comments, let me know. I want to get feedback to make sure that it's working for you as well. And yeah, but otherwise I see the emulator is starting again, and let's give it some time. So I can see this video is getting really too long, but I just want us to do the Google direction before we close this video. Or else let go do Google direction in the next video, so that you are fresh and understand everything that we're going to be doing, because you can see this is too long already. But let's see that what you've done is working here. So we say 55 Pretoria Road, and the destination is 32 Olivia Road. Awesome, it's working, it's animating properly, as you can see the 2 point. So we're going to continue in the next video, and in the next video we're going to begin plotting this direction. We're going to plot the route, and we're going to implement the time, the travel time. All this, we're getting this information from Google APIs. So we're gonna get the travel time as well as the distance, and we're gonna implement the rest of the screens. So it's only 2 screens that are left once you complete with this. So we're getting there. I think in the next 2 videos we should be done with the front end and we begin the back end. So I think we're going to stop here for today, and thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, keep safe and take care. Bye bye.